Our reading today is going to be Luke 2:41 through 52. Now every year his parents traveled to Jerusalem for the festival of the Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up as usual for the feast. When the days of the festival were over and they started to return, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem, but his parents were unaware of this. Assuming that he was in the group of travelers, they went a day's journey. Then they started to look for him among their relatives and friends. When they did not find him, they returned to Jerusalem to look for him. After searching for 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard him were amazed at his comprehension and his answers. When his parents saw him, they were bowed over in astonishment. And his mother said to him, "Child, why have you treated us like this? Your father and I have been anxiously looking for you. You have caused us grinding pain and sorrow." Jesus said to them, "Why were you searching for me? Did you not realize that I must be about my Father's business?" But they did not understand what he said to them. And so he went down with them and came to Nazareth, and he was obedient to them. But his mother strenuously kept all these sayings in her heart. And Jesus increased in wisdom and stature and in divine and human joy.
God made us beautiful. God made us strong, gentle. We are an image made in the image of God. We carry the light of God within us. We each have a call. We each have something specific and a purpose and a plan. And all of those things that we profess are written in that song. I think sometimes the hard thing is we miss it. We miss living into our authentic selves. We miss living out our call. And it could be from people telling us not to, or people trying to silence us, or not allowing us to be who we are made to be. I guess it's why I'm glad that today we have this passage from Luke. And usually this is one of those passages that just kind of gets skipped over. We don't know a whole lot about Jesus' childhood. Unlike us, we have just one little snapshot of Jesus' growing up. We've got the birth narratives, we've got the call with the baptism and the Spirit coming down like a dove and all of those beautiful things. But in between that, there's 30 years. You guys, how old are you, Peter? 18. 18 years. How many pictures do you think you have of you or your parents have taken to document your life? Thousands. Thousands. It makes up who we are. So I think Luke was very specific about picking this one passage to be able to let us know how Jesus related to his family, to his friends, to his community, and how they received him walking into his call. And we all love to resonate with Mary, especially the moms and dads among us. We love to say, Mary was right. His little son of God, he was disobedient. He should have told us where he was. He should have come up here and let us know. Well, you want to know something? We get that. It was a big deal. Jesus was living out his identity. He was beginning to just be Jesus. The thing is, Mary, Joseph, even though they kind of knew, maybe they didn't have a full idea of what this was going to look like, and it was going to cause Jesus at some point to go against what they expected. And we have such expectations for our children, don't we? So picture this. They're moving on their way to Jerusalem as usual. The text says, as usual. They went every year. They had their family, their friends. They had all of Jesus' brothers and sisters. Did you know Jesus had at least 4 named brothers, at least 2 unnamed sisters? We don't know how many was in the whole family. It doesn't make any difference. It's a brood. Once you have this many, you have a brood. And then you've got cousins, uncles, aunts, people that just think they're part of your family who you've never seen, and they just attach themselves to you. These are your people. So as usual, they all go up. Now, I got to tell you from experience, it is a tough thing to travel with a brood. I had a brood. Peppy and I have a brood. It's very easy to lose track of one. Don't judge me. There was a time that we were on our way home from church and we were all the way on the highway, and I kept calling into the back seat, right, Joe? Right, Joe? Right, Joe? And it took about 5 more right Joes to realize that Joe wasn't in the car. We left him at church, which reminds me we should probably check on him at some point. Again, don't judge. It's hard. You have a lot of people. So, of course, maybe they lost track of Jesus. And right away we start to judge. Both. We judge Mary first because finally, all right, now first she's a picture you're Mary, you can't find your kid. It's embarrassing, right? My child did something to go against the norm. So you have that little fear, oh my gosh, whatever happened to him, and oh my gosh, now I have to tell all of my uncles, aunts, cousins that my kid did something to disrespect me, so now we're going to all have to turn around and go back to Jerusalem to look for him. Yes. So she finds him, definitely. She grabs him by the shoulders and she says, "How dare you? How could you treat us like this?" Then we have Jesus. Jesus is just being Jesus, like we said, right? He's in the temple. Of course he's in the temple. He's being about God's business. And he says, in his little cocky son of God self, "Why did you look for me? I was, of course, being about my Father's business." And it's interesting here because the text says Mary and Joseph didn't understand. I think that is so important. We have, those of us who have children, those of us who have loved ones who have gone against our expectation in order to live their truth, it's a little bit rough. We don't understand. It takes a minute. Why are you acting this way? Why do I have to now go to my community and tell them that you are different? We've done it this way every single year. This is usual. This is what is expected, and I expect you to continue to live this way. Who says you can't? Who says you won't? Who says you get to choose something completely different now from what I've envisioned for you? I know in this church our mind probably flips many of us to folks in LGBT community, yes? Coming into our own, being able to make our voice known, live into our authentic self, often upsets the apple cart. It often causes the community to completely turn around and start saying, "How dare you?" If you're very lucky, you've got a Mary in your life who's going to continue to ponder those things, even when she doesn't understand. The word in Greek is strenuously ponder. Strenuously ponder. That means it was hard. It was hard for her to understand. It was against everything that she had envisioned. And you know what? When your child grows into something that you didn't see coming, there's a minute. There's shock, and then there's grief. And the grief comes when you have to give up what you thought this person's life was going to be and accept what God has called this person to be. And we can talk about just LGBTQ until the cows come home in this, because I know right even here there are people who didn't have a Mary in their life and who were rejected and who did never get that final reconciliation and understanding. And that stings. But let's go further from there. Let's go into other children who do things that we may not like or we may not expect, and our expectations don't meet with their truth. If they're called to be something that we didn't envision, called to do something that maybe we didn't see coming, that we're now going to have to explain to our family, yes, my child is fill in your opposite of choice. It's a big deal. So we've got these two different aspects of the same thing. We have children growing into their own. We have Marys among us and the Josephs who are trying to grieve. And then we've got the community. We don't hear anything about the community. If they were able to receive Mary back into their community, if they were able to receive Jesus back, it says in text, Jesus was obedient and went back with them. He stayed with them. He ended up saying, okay, I get it. This is the beauty and understanding of 12-year-old Jesus, which most of us never get our whole life. I understand my truth didn't meet with your expectations. I'm going to still be obedient to you for a little while we work this out. But where's the rest of the community? And what's our role in this? How do we support the ones who are coming into their own call? And this could be at any age. We talk about teenagers. We talked about Peter being 18, coming into his own. You're going to go to college or something, right? After school, or do something, get a job or whatever. Whatever he chooses may or may not be Allison. It may not be Allison and Dave's vision for what he's going to do. But here's what I do know. The Spirit of the living God lives in him. The Spirit of the living God lives in all of us, in each of us. Every one of us has a call. And if we're listening to it, and if we're listening to that Spirit, getting to know what the Spirit's voice sounds like, getting to trust her voice, understanding that that voice might be different from the voices that we're hearing, even from ones we love. And that knowledge, that awareness of what Spirit sounds like, that is where community comes in. We can be the loving, spirited voice that supports no matter what, that continues to nurture no matter what, that continues to love no matter what. And our kids, they're going to go through all kinds of stuff. They're going to go through all kinds of stuff. Will we be there for them? Well, we're going to be there for the 40-year-old who decides they're going to go to seminary. Are we going to be there for the 50-year-old who decides they want to teach a Bible study for the first time? Or the 60-year-old who decides they want to do mission work in Haiti? Are we going to be there for people who are exploring what the Spirit is telling them to do at any given moment? Because they're just being them. Jesus is just being Jesus. Our truth is to take our own expectations and get rid of them. Our truth is to embrace God's expectations, and they are wide, wide open. Amen.